Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 3 math. You can find all the lessons on a+students.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 3 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter estimation and rounding. The lessons we're going to cover today are estimate sums up to 1000, estimate sums, estimate differences up to 1000, and estimate differences, solve inequalities using estimations. Please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Let's just start with the lesson that is estimate sums up to 1000. Let's just start with an example. Which addition problem has a sum of about 130? So you are given, I think, 3 or 4 options. You have to see which one when added makes the sum 130. You can start with the first example, that is 14 and 69. So 14 is rounded 10 and 69 is rounded to 70. When you add, the sum is about 80, right? The second one is 99 plus 21. 99 is rounded to 100 and 21 is rounded to 20. And their sum is about 120. Same way, we have a third option, the sum is about 90. And the fourth one is 36 plus 93. So when you add, their sum is about 130. Let's just start with the test questions. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then adding. So we have to round them to the nearest 10 and then we have to add 61. 61 is rounded to 60 because that is just one number away from 60. So it would be rounded to 60. Then we have 27. 27 is about 3 points away from 30. So it would be rounded to 30. So it is 60 plus 30. The correct option is 90. Option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? Okay, let's just move on to the next one. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then adding 17 plus 46. Seventeen is rounded to 20 and 46 is rounded to 50. So their estimated sum is 70. Option number 1 is the 60. How 60? The correct option is 70. Option number 1 is the correct option. How 60? 70 it is. Which addition problem has a sum of about 170? So you have to see which one when added estimated interest level makes sum 170. So 83 is rounded to 80. 91 is rounded to 90. Just add 8 and 9 makes 17. So that is 170. So option number 1 is the correct option. The correct option is option number 1, that is 170. Which addition problem has a sum of about 200? So which is the correct option? Can you guys please focus on the lesson we are on? So we are given two of the options, 98 plus 92 and 98 plus 98. Just look at the first one. 98 is rounded to 100, but 92 is rounded to 90. So their sum up to 190. That is not the correct option. Look at the second one. 98 is rounded to 100, and then again 98 is rounded to 100. So when you add, they makes 200. Option number 2 is the correct option. Very good. The correct option is 200. Option number 2 is the correct option. Very good. Okay, the next one is which addition problem has a sum of about 130? So let's just look at the first one. 36 plus 96. 36 is rounded to 40 and 96 is rounded to 100. So they sums up to 140, right? Now look at the second one. 36 is rounded to 40 and 93 is rounded to 90. So option number 2 is the correct option because this sums up to 130. Option number 2 is the correct option. 36 plus 93. Option number 2 is the correct option. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then adding 91 plus 68. 91 is rounded to 90 and 68 is rounded to 70. So this sums up to 160. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 160. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is estimate sums. Let's just start with the test question. That is exactly the one we just did, right? Estimate the sums by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then adding. So that is 73 plus 26. So which is the correct option? 73 is rounded to 70 and 26 is rounded to 30. So which is the correct option? The correct option is 100. Option number 3 is the correct option. That is 100. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest 100 and then adding. $166 plus 412. So 166, we need to round them to nearest 100, right? So 166. 1 is at the hundreds position, right? After the 1, you have 6. So 6 is greater than 5, so it would be round up, it would be rounded to 200. We have 412. 4 is at the hundreds position. Right next to 4, you have 1, and 1 is less than 5. So we need to round on the same 100. So 400 plus 200 equals that is 600. Option number 2 is the correct option. 600 it is. Which addition problem has a sum of 90? So let's just see which one when added makes 90. 32 plus 62. 32 is rounded to 30. And 62 rounded to 60. So that is the correct option because when added, they makes 90. So option number 1 is the correct option. The correct option is option number 1, 30 plus 60. 32 plus 62, their sum is about 90. Estimate the sum of by rounding each number to the nearest hundred and then add it. Okay, let's just round them 200. 423. 4 is at the hundreds position, right next to 4 you have 2. 2 is less than 5, so it would be rounded to 400. Then we have 412. And 4 is at the hundreds position, right next to 4 we have 1. So 1 is less than 5, so you need to round on the same 100. So 400 plus 400 equals 800. The correct option is 800. Option number 3 is the correct option. 400 plus 400 makes 800. Sixty-one plus 68. Estimate the sum by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then adding. So 61 is rounded to 60 and 68 is rounded to 70. So this sums up to 130. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is estimate differences up to 1000. Let's just start with the test questions. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest and then subtract. You have to estimate them first and then you have to subtract. So 94 is rounded to 94 is rounded to 90 and 66 is rounded to 70. So 90 minus 70 equals 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. The estimated difference is 90. Option number 2 is the correct option. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then subtracting. 84 minus 26. Eighty-four is rounded to 80 and 26 is rounded to 30. So 80 minus 30 equals 50. It is option number 3 is the correct option. That is 50. Option 3 is the correct option. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then subtracting. 43 minus 32. So which is the correct option? Can you guys please stop chatting and answer the question I'm asking? Which option is the correct one? 43 minus 32 equals. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 10. Very good. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then subtracting. 99 minus 56, which is the correct option? $99 is rounded to 100 and 56 is very good. The correct option is 40. Option number 1 is the correct option. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then subtracting. 94 minus 42. So which is the correct option? $94 is rounded to 90. Very good. That is 50. Option number 2 is the correct option. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then subtracting. 79 minus 28. So which is the correct option? $79 is rounded to 80. And 28 is rounded to 30. So 80 minus 30 equals 50. The correct option is option number 1. That is 50. $88 minus 30, which is the correct option. $88 is rounded to 90 and 13 is rounded to 10. Option number 3 is the correct option. That is 80. Because 88 is rounded to 90. Estimate the difference by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then subtracting. 47 minus 11, so which is the correct option? $47 is rounded to 50 and 50 minus 10 is 40. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is estimate differences. That is exactly the same we just did. So let's just move on to the next lesson. That is solve inequalities using estimation. That is also moved to the next grade. So let's just do the last one from the chapter, that is estimate products. Okay, 7 times 49. Estimate the product round second factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. The second factor is 49. So 49 is rounded to 50. And then 50 times 7 is 350. Let's just start with the test questions. Estimate the product round each factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. 25 times 4. The first factor you need to round to nearest 10. So 25 is exactly the midway between 20 and 30, right? That is rounded to 30. So 30 times 4 is 30 times 4 is 120. So the correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. It would be rounded to 120. Estimate the product. Round the second factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. So 6 times 46. Forty-six is rounded to 50. So 50 times 6 is 300. Option number 2 is the correct option. That would be rounded to 300. Estimate the product round the second factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. That is 350. Option 1 is the correct option. Estimate the product. Round the first factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. 74 times 8. Seventy-four is rounded to 70. So option number 1. 8 times 7 is 56. That is 560. Option number 3 is the correct option. Five times 65. Five times 78 is very good. That is 350. Option number 2 is the correct option. Fifty-three times 6. So which is the correct option? 53 is rounded to 50. 6 times 50 is 300. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 300. Estimate the Estimate the product round the second factor to the nearest and then multiply. Seven times 20 equals 140. Option number 3 is the correct option. Four times 45. So which is the correct option? Five is rounded to 50. So that is 200. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 3 math. Chapter we were working on is estimation and rounding. The lessons we have covered today are estimate sums up to 1000, estimate sums, estimate differences up to 1000, and then estimate differences. And then we did the last session from the chapter, that is estimate the products. Please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons you just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please ask questions if you have any. Any questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session.